What is going on, you guys? Steven here from Airsoft Tech, and today I'm bringing you guys the video review of the ISSC M22 C02 gas blowback pistol. That was a mouthful, but anyways, if you are interested in purchasing this gun after the review, I will put a link down below in the description to evike.com where you can purchase this for around $100 to $105. I would like to mention though that there are different versions of this gun, and what I mean by that is you can either get the all black version or the two-toned version, which is black and tan for CO2, or you can get the all black version or the two-tone version, again black or black and tan for green gas. So you can have both different versions for both different types of gas. So whichever one you prefer, whichever one you think looks better, and whichever gas you prefer, go ahead and purchase that. But anyways, I'm only going to be putting the link down below for this exact model, because that's of course is what I'm reviewing. However, you can definitely go ahead and find all of them on Evike's website. I'm not sure if they're out of stock, so if they are, just be patient, or you can go ahead and find the same gun on a different website. But I just thought I'd let you guys know about the different versions that are possibly that you could possibly get. So to get into the review, guys, why don't we just go ahead, hold the gun up really close up to the camera so you guys can see all the little details and whatnot. The slide is made out of full metal, and the lower frame here is made out of polymer. So you have a full metal slide, polymer lower frame or lower receiver. Up front here we do have a nice little texture here, and you don't really pull the slide back from up there. However, just makes the gun look a little bit more unique, a little more designed to the gun, so it's pretty nice. Underneath that though, on the frame here, obviously the polymer frame, we do have a Picatinny rail, so you can go ahead and mount any type of accessory. You can go ahead and mount a flashlight, a laser. I don't believe this is big enough to actually mount a foregrip. If you wanted to do like a Raffica type of foregrip, or like, I forgot what the actual gun is called, an MW2. I think it is the Raffica, I'm not sure, but they have like those little handles or whatever. Kind of looks like foregrips or whatever. I think it's the KWA M93R, something like that. But anyways, that's not important. So anyways, here we go. Moving down the slide though, we do have some pretty nice trademarks. ISSC M22 Austria Cal 22 LR, and then here is the takedown lever, and I will explain that a little bit later in the video, how to take it down, show you guys the hop up, show you guys the internals and whatnot, but that will be later. Moving on down, we do have our safeties now. This is what I'd like to talk about right now, is the safeties. So we do have the safety switch up here, which is ambidextrous, as you can see. Let me just do it from the other side, just like that, and from that it will actually decock the gun, and you cannot pull the trigger when well, you can pull the trigger, but it won't actually activate the hammer and obviously make the gun go off and actually fire a BB. So here, let me just rock the slide back, go like that. When it's up, pull the trigger. Let's do it again. Push it down. Remember, it's ambidextrous, so that's really nice. Again, fire. When it's down, that means it's safe. You can pull the trigger, but it's not going to fire at all. It's not going to release the hammer. So again, push it up and you can shoot, pull the trigger. But anyways, I'd also like to mention the other safety. So you have basically two safeties if you want to count a two or just one, but you have the safeties up here, and then you also have a trigger safety right there. You cannot pull, well, you can't pull the trigger. Well, actually no, I was gonna say you can pull the trigger but it won't activate the hammer. This, you can actually not pull the trigger if you do not push that in. So as you can see, this must be pushed in for the trigger to be pulled. If you just kind of push it or try and pull the trigger in on the slide, it will not go in. As you can see, you must have your finger on the trigger completely to push that piece in, and then you can go ahead and pull the trigger and activate the hammer and release the hammer and stuff like that. But anyways, moving down though, we do have the mag release. As you can see, I will talk about the mag in a second. Again, this is the CO2 model. Again, you can go green gas, doesn't matter, whichever you prefer. We do have some nice textures here on both sides of the pistol grip ISSC. As you can see, got some more trademarks there. Got some nice grooves here for your fingers to sit. And I will say this pistol is pretty comfortable. However, my hands are, pretty big. I would say a little bigger than average. And my finger, my middle finger, it kind of rubs up against the mag release, and it kind of hurts. It doesn't really hurt. It's just like annoying. But then again, I can always push my fingers down, but then my pinky's kind of hanging off. So if you have big hands, be a little worried about that, be a little wary about that. So but anyways, I also like to mention here though, there is a nice indentation here for your thumb. I really like that. Makes the gun feel really nice, and it's just really easy to hold. Just remember, or just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying, is that can be a little annoying. But if you're on the field and you're wearing gloves, you might not notice it. Just thought I should mention it. And I also really like how this gun, how the pistol is curved at such an angle. It's really comfortable. You can really tuck your hand in there, and it's just a really nice pistol, you guys, and how it's just conformed to your hand. Just really nice. So moving on though, back up to the slide here, we do have the slide release. So obviously when you pull the trigger and you shoot your last BB, slide will lock back, as you can see, and then this is obviously the slide release. As I said, go ahead, release the slide, and you're good to go. And this is the takedown lever. All right, but before we get to that, let me just show you guys the other side real quick. Let's just look down the barrel. I would definitely not recommend doing this, but I know it's not loaded. So there's the inner barrel. stuff like that. But anyways, flipping it around, again, the same type of serrations here, patterns, and it's really nice to hold it when you go ahead and you know, rock the slide back. But anyways, moving down the slide, again, have the same thing up here. Now to see more trademarks, read manual before use. I really don't like that trademark. It's just, it's you know, why is it there? You know, like they could have put a sticker there or something. And then this is also really annoying. Made in Taiwan. It's not like a little thing you can actually dig out or a sticker. Both of these are in the gun to stay. They're in there for a reason. And I just don't like that. You know, whoever came up with that idea and, you know, went through with it, shame on you. Just takes away the realism. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, when you're holding the gun, it kind of takes up, you know, most of it. But you're not really going to be looking at it anyways. If you're a righty, if you're a lefty, you're definitely going to be seeing that. But then again, just wanted to say that to keep that in mind. But anyways, why don't we go ahead, take a look at the magazine real quick. Let's go ahead, put the gun down. This magazine does hold up to 25 BBs. And I think it's 25 plus 1, so 26 total, one in the chamber. So it is double stacked, as you can see. Pull it down, and this is actually where you install the CO2. So what you got to do is pull this little piece down, just like so. Take the cap off, and they give you a little tool that actually fits into the you know, the correct size of the screw right here. Let me just get that to focus. There we go. And they give you the actual tool. Go ahead and unscrew it, put the CO2 in, put the cap back on, put the tool in, screw it, and puncture the CO2, and you're good to go. And the gas efficiency on this gun, you guys, for CO2, the CO2 model, it's not too bad. However, it's not amazing. It's like 1.5 to 2 magazines per one CO2 cartridge. There are pistols out there that can go anywhere from 2.5 to 4 magazines off one CO2 cartridge. So just keep that in mind. It's not great. However, it's not terrible. It's not terrible by any means. And once you have the CO2 back in there, just pop the cap back on. And we do have some more trademarks on the bottom cap here, actually, if you want to take a look at that real quick. It's actually this way. There we go. So let's just get that to focus real quick. There we go. We Tactical, made in Taiwan. Just thought I'd show you guys that. Again, 25 plus 1, 26 BBs in total. Pretty good mag capacity. It really is. And the mag isn't even that heavy. It is full metal, but you know, it's not like super heavy like the FN57. That magazine for the FN57 is just too heavy. It's ridiculous. All the weight of the gun is the magazine. This, not too bad. But anyways, here is the gas release right here. Just push that in to release the CO2. Obviously up there is where the gas spews out. We got the lips of the magazine here. So overall, construction of the magazine, pretty solid. I will have one con about this magazine though, and it's these caps right here. I have seen reviews of people saying the same thing that I'm about to say. This, as you can see, it's kind of like scratched in there, or you know, like kind of worn out. And if you keep, you know, putting the tool in there and kind of just twisting it, you can actually start to scrape out the actual, you know, cutout design for the actual Allen key, and you won't even be able to use this anymore. You have to get a whole nother cap. So you gotta be really careful about that, you guys. That's one thing that is a bit of a con besides those other trademarks, you know, the made in Taiwan thing and whatnot. But overall, magazine, not too bad. Gas efficiency, not terrible. So overall, not too bad. So before we actually go ahead, take the slide off of the gun, you guys, why don't we quickly just take a look at the rear and front iron sights. Here is the rear sight right there, and then the front sight, just, you know, a little triangle post there. And there are no white dots on them, unfortunately. I love it when pistols have white dots on them. But what are you going to do? And you can actually adjust the rear sight left or right. You can kind of rotate it with a little screw right in there. As you can see, you can kind of just twist it, make it go to the right or make it go to the left. Up to you, depending on how you need to sight in your gun. But anyways, why don't we go ahead, take the slide off of the gun, take the magazine out, make sure there are no BBs in the gun, make sure there's no gas, nothing, you know, make sure there's absolutely nothing in there to danger yourself or to harm yourself or anything like that. So here we go. Rock the slide back. Push these two tabs in. As you can see, if my camera would focus, there we go. There are tabs on each side there as well as there. Push them both in, as you can see, and just simply just slide the slide off nice and easy and gently, just like so. Wiggle it if you need to, and there it is. There is the lower frame right there with the trigger assembly, the hammer and whatnot. So just set that down. Don't want to be messing with that too much. You can obviously lube that up, you guys, and just, you know, make it run smoothly, make sure it's clean and everything like that. But anyways, here we go. Make sure my camera will focus there. There we go. So here is the internals, you guys. We have the spring guide, the outer barrel assembly, the inner barrel is right in there. And so you have everything important in here. And as you can see, there is the hop up. You actually, you know, roll it to the front or roll it towards the spring guide for more hop. Roll it towards the back, you know, towards the back of the slide for less hop. And if you guys are wondering, whoa, why is it chipped? Did it break? I actually dropped the gun when I was cleaning it. I actually had the slide off. I was messing around with it, just looking at the internals, making sure everything was good, and I was working with silicone oil, you know, I was lubing it up and everything like that. Dropped the slide, or the outer slide frame here, that's part of the outer slide, or the outer barrel, sorry, I say outer slide, I mean outer barrel, and it just kind of chipped off. So make sure you don't drop anything when you're cleaning your gun. But other than that, you know, it works great. You know, I was like, oh no, I broke the gun, it's not going to work properly, it's not going to function. Hasn't had any impact on the gun whatsoever. Accuracy is still the same, slide still runs smoothly, so you know, I'm not too worried about it. I did it quite a while ago, and the gun still runs really nicely, so I'm not too concerned about it. So why don't we go ahead, put the slide back on. Putting the slide on is absolutely, you know, super easy. So just slide it on just like so, keep sliding it, just all you got to do, push it back and let it go. It locks automatically, so that's really easy. And there you go, just make sure it functions, make sure the slide is good. Again, make sure the trigger works. Do it one more time, make sure the safety works. There we go, push it back up. There we go, so everything looks good and ready to go. So now for the last thing, you guys, before we end this review, I want to talk about performance, you know, FPS, how hot the gun is shooting, accuracy and stuff like that. So before we get into shooting, I know you guys want to see this gun in action and, you know, shooting it and, you know, shooting on camera to see how good the blowback is. Quickly want to talk about performance. Now going into performance, for FPS you guys can expect anywhere from the mid to high 290s to the low 300s. E-bike states you can get anywhere from 280 to 300. I was seeing the mid to high 290s to the low 300s. It was like 308 was the most powerful shot I got, I believe. So now getting into performance, I actually went ahead and did the shooting test video already, testing out this gun, you know, FPS, the accuracy test, damage test, all those different types of tests. And for FPS, we saw anywhere from the mid 290s to the low 300s. I believe the most powerful shot we got was 308. E-bike states you can get anywhere from 200 to 300 FPS. So we got a little bit stronger readings, again, using 0.20 gram BBs and a fresh 12 gram CO2 cartridge. So e-bike was pretty accurate though. Most of the time e-bike can, you know, lie about the FPS readings and they put some ridiculous numbers up there. But for this gun, they were actually pretty accurate. Again, mid to high 290s to the low 300s using 0.20 gram BBs and a fresh 12 gram CO2 cartridge. And now about accuracy. So the accuracy was also really good though. I was actually really impressed and really pleased with the results of the accuracy test and how well this gun was shooting and how easy it was to actually get the sights back onto the bullseye and whatnot. So obviously in the beginning of the video, or not in the beginning of the video, but previously, I said I like it when there are white dots on the sights of pistols. However, for some reason, how these sights are made and how it looks, you know, looking through the sights when you're aiming, it actually wasn't too bad. I actually wasn't, you know, saying, oh, I wish this gun had white dots when I was actually shooting it. So for this gun, I think actually, you know, there's an exception for this gun with not having white dots or whatever. But again, for FPS, definitely use this for CQB and outdoors. You know, outdoors, you don't have to worry about, you know, you can't shoot someone from, you know, possibly like 150 feet, obviously, and, you know, expect to hit them, you know, each and every time. But, you know, for those, you know, mid distances, for the secondary, you know, firearm, definitely go ahead and use this. I would definitely recommend this to you guys. But anyways, to wrap up the video and to wrap up the review, I'm pretty sure I, you know, covered everything. Why don't we go ahead, shoot the gun. I know that's what you guys want to see, and we'll go ahead, fill the magazine up with 0.20 gram BBs as well as a fresh 12 gram CO2 cartridge, and we'll start shooting this thing.